computer. Good morning. Not only happy Monday, but happy Top Gun first day. I am excited. This is some of you have been to the Top Gun. Did anybody do Top Gun with me last time? Más o menos. Un poquito de. Okay. Well, this is going to be a little bit of a different Top Gun. We're going to have, obviously, Top Gun. The idea of Top Gun, did I steal the title? Of course. We know where it comes from, right? Top Gun, Maverick, you know. He was the hot one. Anyway, and it's back, right? But the idea is, it is 101 through, 3000, right? It is all sales, everything you need to know, everything all encompassing. But what I'm adding to it this time is Ninja. I'm adding our tools and resources. I'm going through from buyer's process all the way through seller's process, all the way through value proposition, everything you possibly need to know, encompassing Ninja, encompassing Sotheby's, encompassing Premier Sotheby's. So obviously it's a lot of information. Some things you're going to be like, I already know this, I've got this. Some things may be new, so I'm going to be adding things. I have, if I have things that we're going to be working with, I'm going to try to have them ahead. Like you guys might have seen in the invite, we already had some of these downloads already there. These are Ninja. So if you're not a Ninja yet, I'm including Ninja things in here. I hope to have all Ninjas on my team. So this year coming, we'll be doing Ninja installations. So I'd like to welcome some new members to our group. We have Miss Razan. Welcome. She just joined us this week after joining us one Friday ago.
Yeah, 1 Friday ago.
She actually was in Costa Rica last week doing the CIPS course. So that's the place to do it. Apparently they treated her like a queen. And so if anybody wants to take the CIPS course, go to Costa Rica. Plus anybody, she brought us all sorts of treats right here from Costa Rica. I already taken my chocolate covered coffee, some organic cocoa. So you may also have some now because I've already pre-selected. So no, but we thank you very much. And we're so thrilled to have all you here. But anyway, anybody who has any questions, this is a 10-week course. You've all seen it. I've added it in. Good morning. Please help yourself, Lori. Good morning, Mary. But again, we're going to be adding some extra courses in on Thursdays. So other things that I have planned, just so you know, just to give you a little bit of a heads up, we're going to be adding in working with builders. So we're going to be adding in handling objections and closing techniques. I'm going to be adding in also some realtor safety. I'm actually working with Peyton. Peyton Lewis is helping me. We're going to hopefully rent a space. Actually, it's on the east side of town, but renting a space in a gym. We're going to try to get somebody maybe from a Taekwondo, maybe from OEPD to help us do some safety, working with us to teach us some really nice grappling stuff. Because guys, we're back at open houses, right? We're back working with people, so we need to have some really good safety moves. So I'm a black belt of a while ago, but it's really good. You don't always have an opportunity, right? And so you need to know, somebody grabs you, how to get away, things of that nature. So we're going to be doing some more of that kind of thing too. So I want you to be aware of that. So look for those kinds of things. We'll be looking. If anybody has other things you'd like me to add, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to try to get all this stuff out to you beforehand. Okay. So, you know, plus with the holidays coming, we'll have our Thanksgiving parties and all those things and the holiday bash. So I want you to all know all these things ahead because I know you're busy and we plan to be very busy with all sorts of fun stuff. So I just want you to know I'm trying to have everything planned for you so that we can really make this a great, strong end of the year. Okay. So I'm going to still have a lot of people jumping in, but I'm going to get started. So first thing, let's talk a little bit about buyers, right? We all know how much I love buyers, but I love me some buyers, not really. But the most important thing are we need them, right? Because buyers buy the property. And if we can really put together the buyer with the seller, hello, what happened? Okay, I thought I crashed it. There we go. The idea is, how do I get these people in? Hold on a second. Hold on, guys. We have a little slight problem. I can't see who's adding my group. 1 second. It's all blank, isn't it? The idea is if we can match our buyer pool with our sellers, this is going to be the best thing ever because this is how we get more listings. And especially as right now, the market is turning. We all see it. right? We all see it. And what are we finding right now in Eagle Creek, Andrea? Right? We have a lot of competition, do we not? So we have a lot of competition. We have a situation where it would be really great if we actually had a buyer, wouldn't it? So we need to know how to work with buyers more than ever now. And we need to be able to be very proficient with buyers. So this is why we're going to really look at the buyer process. And if we can really get buyers in our own buyers that we could be cultivating, and that way matching with our listings, that's the goal. You know, I'm not a huge buyer fan, but I really want us to cultivate a huge buyer pool to match our listing pool. That is the idea of this. So, and when we work with buyers, we have to be efficient, because buyers are going to think that this is a buying market. Is it a buyer's market? It is not a buyer's market. It's still a seller's market. So we got to keep that in mind, okay? It's really important that we educate our customers. We always have to be educating our customers and letting them know what kind of market conditions we're in, right? And we have to make sure that people understand why we do what we do. So the important thing is, let's put this aside. Oh, no one can see that. Just me. Sure. Okay. We are Premier. Exclamation point. There you go. So we're going to talk a little bit about the buyer's process. This is right out of Ninja. How many ninjas do I have? Woo! Love me some Ninja. Okay. Also, we're going to be adding some Ninja after this class. Does it work for everybody if we do, not today, but if we do some Ninja after? Is it too late to do it after 11? You want to do beforehand? What would be better, before or after? Anybody? Before. I say before. Before? Okay, so we'll do some before. We'll do some Ninja time before. So we're going to start adding that in. Okay, so let's talk about the 5 fundamental key questions that you need to ask a buyer. First thing, where are you living now? Okay, we need to understand, do they own their home or are they renting? This is really important today more than ever. Why, guys? Anybody? Well, yeah, they want to list their home if they have one. Yeah, that's a huge reason. But guys, what is going up like crazy? Interest rates. And if they don't currently own a home, if they've never owned a home, what are they going to be more scared about than ever? Luciana, guys, take these papers. Luciana, take them. What they're going to be more scared to death probably by rising interest rates, probably more so than somebody who's owned a home before, correct? So these are people that you have to really understand their risk aversion to owning, right? Just like we thought about this before, we have to understand where their mindset is. So it's important to understand, are they renters or no, there's 3 of them. Yeah. So we got to understand that. Also, if people are saying, well, you know what, interest rates are going up too high, I'm just going to keep renting. What else do we have to understand if they're not owners? The rental market. We have to understand what's happening in the rental market. The rental market is going up historically. It's higher now than it has ever been. As a matter of fact, in June, it went up 40%. Did you know that? 40% in June, the rental market rose. Why did it rise, guys? Because everybody knew it was going to happen, right? And here in Central Florida, what else happened? What happened here in Orlando? Oh, the rent stabilization, right? People started going, oh my God, if rent control goes in, I better raise all my rates now, right? So you have, now it's not that it's been voted on, right? I mean, we have Florida realtors fighting against this, but in our area, we have people who understand what's happening with this possibility of rent stabilization. So what are they doing? They're raising their rents like crazy, because if that actually goes into effect, they can't raise their rents, right? So they better raise it right now. So these are things that we have to educate these folks on, right? So this is really understood. Do you own a current home? How long have you owned? How long? You've never owned a home. Do you understand what's happening with the rental market? We have to educate them. If they have owned a home, how long have they owned that home? What was also, how many homes have you owned in your lifetime? This is critical. Why do we have to know that? Anybody? Why do we want to know how many homes have they ever owned? What experience they have? What experience have they had? because you're going to treat a buyer very, hey, Oksana, come help yourself to these 3 papers right here. What experience have they had? How have they worked before? We have to understand that, because if it's a first-time home buyer, you're going to treat them a little bit differently than somebody who's bought 20 homes, right? And they're going to be expecting to be treated differently, aren't they? And we have to ask them about how that experience was, right? How did you enjoy that experience? What was it like? Share with me some of the things you really enjoyed about that process, right? What was it that you wish was a little different? Now, here's a real ninja thing, and I love it. If you could wave a magic wand, how would you like the process to go? That is the best thing. If you ever want to put someone in a dream state, and I don't mean hypnotize them, I wish that would work, right? Why would I tell you? No. If you could wave a magic wand, how do you envision this process going? They're going to tell you exactly how they want you to communicate with them, exactly how they want the process. Some people want you to give them a ton of information. Some people don't. Some people want you to really be on top of them, giving you all sorts of details. Some people just want you to show them exactly what they want to see when they want to see it. You need to understand that. Okay, this is really imperative. So you need to understand, if someone has only never bought a home before, but they think they know everything because they read Zillow and Trulia and all their stupid things that they put out, that's the worst customer. We need to understand who those people are, right? This is your opportunity to find out with those questions. You follow me? That's what you're trying to find out right here. And then, how did the process work? Oh, we just went over that. Now, are you familiar with how real estate works in Florida? If they bought a home anywhere else in the United States and they think they know about real estate, if it's from anywhere up north, what is it? Single agency. They have no idea how it works here with transaction brokerage. Let me tell you that. We are not single agency. We can work both sides of the deal. That freaks people out. If you're from New York, you expect an attorney to take over. We don't have attorneys taking over here, right? And then they are like, where's the attorney? I want to talk to the attorney. Anybody ever had that? Anybody have to deal with that kind of customer?
Yep.
They're a nightmare.
Yep.
You have to set that expectation up front. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I just felt that.
Yeah.
She was a nightmare. Yeah. I think she would have been a nightmare either way, but she was a total nightmare. Yeah.
She's walking in zombie.
Yeah. She totally was. But the truth is, guys, you need to understand where they're coming from, because in many states, single agency is very common. Does everybody understand single agency? You only work one side. You don't work both sides. Do you have a question, Karen? No. So in that instance, it's a very different thing. They think they own you.
In those other states on the single agency, is it still the seller that pays, or do you pay your own?
Seller pays everything so far. However, there's lawsuits going on right now where they're trying to fight that. And that's another thing you guys have to understand as well, especially if they're coming from out west. Right now, more in the Midwest, but there are, as a matter of fact, the National Association of Realtors being sued so much that they actually had to get outside counsel. Their inside counsel cannot handle all the lawsuits that are happening right now. And it's all about the same thing, that the buyers want their own or not representation. They do not think that they need to be represented by one agent, which is ridiculous. And so far, the National Association of Realtors has won every time. However, this is something that, let's say you come with a customer from another area, they could be fighting you on that. I have seen it from my team, from other offices, where they have said, well, they don't want to be represented by me. That does not mean that they get your commission, right? So if somebody comes to you and says they want to buy this home, they want you to create an offer, but they don't want to be represented by you. What does that mean, guys? Okay, that means you get the 6%. Does that mean that that buyer understands that?
No.
Right? So this is a buyer process too. You have to explain to that customer, who is a customer, I'll be
want it.
Okay, can you guys hear me now? Okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, the reason that a buyer says, I want you to put an offer for me and I want to do it without being represented by you is because they want your commission. And if they say, well, I want your commission, what is your response? Anybody have a response for that?
It doesn't work that way.
This is your response, guys. Terrific. So what is your license number? You're a licensed realtor, correct? That is your response, and you stay quiet. And when they come back and say, well, no, I'm not a licensed realtor. Oh, I'm sorry. Then we're not allowed to pay you. We can only pay a licensed realtor.
They don't see it that way.
Doesn't matter.
I know, I agree, because I had this very thing just a week ago. And I just told them, I said, it's not how it works. It doesn't work that way. I go, my agreement's not with you. It's a contractual binding agreement with the seller.
Yeah, but the important thing is to say, I'm sorry, it's illegal for us to pay anybody who's not licensed.
Oh, they'll tell you it's not. They're not doing anything illegal.
You say, well, I'm sorry. That's how it works here in the state of Florida. That's it. You just leave it like that. And you don't have to do anything else. That's it. But that's the point. I mean, yeah, could you represent them and give them money back? You could, but then you're representing them. But if you're not representing them, you're not paying them, period. End of story. Does that make sense? We cannot pay anybody who's not licensed. We cannot. That is illegal. It would be doing real estate without a license is a felony. It's a third-degree felony, by the way. So doing real estate without a license, so if you're getting paid to do real estate without a license, that's a third-degree felony. Right? Now, does it mean that you can't represent them and give them a credit back? But then you're representing them. You see my point? And they don't want you to represent them. So how are you going to pay them? You can. Can you? Does that make sense? Okay. So let me share my screen again. And go back here. All right. So do those questions make sense? Those are the key things you need to know. And then here's another thing, guys. This is super, super important. What you never want to do, in my opinion, is complicate and confuse a buyer. Okay. I have talked to agents, God love them. I know they mean well, that they think that they have to show everything to every customer. Okay. That is not what your job is. Your job is not to show everything. Your job is to show what they really want to see. But how do you know that? You don't, right? So my suggestion is you got to have each person who is making a buying, purchasing decision give you a list of their top 5 must-have. And on your little sheet here, you have the scale of 1 to 10, what's specifically about it, why is it most important to you? Tell me more about that. You also have on the back side, pick your top 3, circle it, see what's the benefits of it, draw it. We can go through those 2 exercises. We'll talk about that. Those are 2 fun things that you can do with the buyer, but I like a very simplistic form of this. You give each person a job. You write your top 5 must-haves. You can write why you must have it. And then your top 5s must not have. I do not want, must not. If it must not be a pool, if it must not be a third car, whatever it is, I do not want this. Each person has to give you their own. They cannot do it together. You must get that from the husband, the wife, the brother, the brother, whoever's buying the house, right? You have to have that before you go out looking for homes. Because I guarantee you, when you're out looking for homes and they look up on Zillow and they say, oh, I want to see this house. That's the quickest thing to look and say, it goes against the one of the must not haves. And you can say, oh, I'm sorry, we can't go see that. That has that 3rd car garage that you can't have, or that's in that cul-de-sac that you hate, or that has a pool and you know that's on your must not have list. So we're not going to waste our time going to see that. That will save you so much time and angst. Make sure you get that list. The must-haves, the must-not-haves, honestly, are much more important than the must-haves. Anybody doing that so far? Anybody ever use that? Super, super helpful. Okay, then this one is great. You guys see the funnel? This is right out of Ninja. But here's the dialogue that goes along with the funnel. And I love this dialogue. Okay, this is what's so great. The whole point of the funnel is the process of elimination. So our goal is to help you find the right home and at the same time, make sure you don't miss anything. Because what are buyers afraid of? They don't want to pay too much and they don't want to miss anything, right? It's the fear of missing out. It's the fear of paying too much, right? So you're addressing all of those issues with this funnel. So we have a process called the funnel process to help you accomplish this. Let me show you how it works. So let's start with anything that you've seen so far. Have you seen anything? Did you go inside of it? Like, what was it that you liked? Okay, so you're kind of having this conversation with them, okay? And then you're gonna say, okay, let me pull out this funnel. It's okay with you. Let's talk about anything that you might have liked. And we're gonna start putting it in the funnel. Let's talk about new listings. Let's talk about new construction, for sale by owner. You're putting it all in here. You're writing on here. All the homes, you're putting it all in here. Right? Because the whole idea is you want to make sure that they think you're looking at anything possibly they could consider, right? And then you say, once we have everything in this funnel, we're going to start a very simple process of elimination. We're going to look to make sure it matches your 5 must-haves. We're going to make sure anything that's on your 5 must-not-haves we take out. We're going to cross-check everything to make sure it really matches what you're looking for and what you're not looking for. We're going to start crossing things out right off of here, right out of the funnel, right? And then from this funnel, we're going to go really through a very comfortable process of elimination instead of that really frustrating process that is often the process of selection. Because if you're trying to find everything, it's so frustrating, right? And by you're trying to keep looking, what happens is you often miss the one thing you really wanted. So instead of us doing that, we're going to put it all in there at one time and just eliminate, right? It's much better. That way we don't miss anything. And what we're looking for is our top 3. We're going to find our top 3 favorites. Once we get the top 3 that are the best, we're going to do a market analysis of them to really see what we think the price will be. And once we think that it really looks great, it's after top 5 must-haves or top 5 not-haves or not on that, we think the price looks good, then we're going to go see them and make our offer. Do that right in the office with them, right on the phone with them, wherever you are. I never met people in the office. I didn't have time for that, but I did it on the phone. I did so much work with people on the phone before I met them that I usually, even in general real estate, would tell people on the first visit. If I had to take 2 days, it was so annoying, but sometimes you had to because you had to go to 2 areas, right? It was like, does everybody follow that? This funnel helps you do that. Now, I didn't actually use a funnel, but I did the same process. I wrote them all down. I did it in lists and I did process of elimination. I crossed them out and I did it by area because if we had to do 2 days, I did, okay, this is east side of town, west, whatever it was that we were going to. Everybody follow me how to do that? Everybody good?
Yes.
Now, the most important thing is we get down to the top 3. We've done our market analysis to make sure they're not paying too much. So what have we taken care of? We didn't miss anything and you're not overpaying. What are their biggest fears? They're missing something and they're overpaying. Is there a fear we're missing?
Yeah.
What?
Well, there's not one, but that's what they always have.
Right, exactly. So this is the beautiful thing of the funnel process. Now, what do we do after the funnel process, guys? Anybody?
You
Well,
select, you sort, you select, right?
now we go to see homes, right? So what do we use to print to go see homes? Anybody? You guys are so cute. You guys are so cute. Cloud CMA buyer tour. Does anybody use the Cloud CMA buyer tour?
Probably not. We didn't see.
Oh my goodness gracious.
But now we will.
This is why we do these things. Okay. Now, I'm jumping ahead because next time we're going to use our tools about sending people open listing alerts and all that kind of thing. We've had the conversation, we've narrowed it down to the 3. We're going to go see some homes, right? How do we set them up? Obviously, you know how to do the setting up the showings, but oh God, my favorite thing, signing into Stellar. Does anybody else have this issue that I have? I
You
don't,
mean when you log in and makes you log in again and again?
like 5 times over? Yeah.
I
Okay.
found, so what I found that I've used that actually cuts my sign-in time. in
Yeah.
half
Yeah, is it
is
something
I don't-
special?
Even if you just go right to the main page. And then instead of clicking on, you just go to the actual link that they have embedded in that link. This says stellarmls.com. You click on that and then you log in, because if you just try to go to it and then log in, for some reason you go to the website, you still have to click on their website. Link again and then go to log in. It's the.
You're gonna have to
weirdest
show
thing.
me later because it's killing.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. and
It's killing me.
It's the weirdest
It's
thing.
killing me.
know why.
I don't know.
I think it is just because if you try to access different MLS, because we do have 2 MLS at home with the same computer, like the MS stuff. I think that's the reason why
I don't
it
know.
makes you.
I have a lot of MLSs. Maybe that's it. I don't really know. Okay, so we're finally in. It wasn't so bad. It only took me 2 tries. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling lucky. I'm gonna play the lottery. Okay. So we're gonna do a search, a quick little home search. We're gonna pretend now, while I'm doing the funnel, guys, I have my MLS open. Right? Because we're talking about the funnel. We're searching for new listings. If I'm searching for new construction, what am I looking in? You guys are so cute. You guys are so cute. Oh my gosh. So cute. It's so cute.
We just got that thing that we can add to our website. So we can look up
New
all the
home
new-
professional.
That it?
Yep, right here. You can add it to your website. Yes. Right here. This is the one that you could go right off your website because we have it on there, right? But here it is. You can search for homes. So let's say you were looking in Lake Nona. So let's do 328 27, and probably 32, right? Let's look in there. And it will pull up new homes in those areas.
Where is that? Where is that?
New home.
We can't see your screen.
Oh, that's special. Oh, thank you for saying that, because I'm like, where is everybody? Nobody's with me? Okay. I was enjoying myself. Nobody was with me? What? All right, hold on. All right, let's see. Can you see it now?
Yeah, but how did you get there? Did you go through?
Well, wouldn't you like to know? No, I went to MLS and it's right down here. You know, you have to, I hate this new MLS thing. It's so stupid. But anyway, you go down here and it's right here under new home source right here. I don't like builders update. That's another one, but I'm not a fan. I like the new home source. That's also the one where I have on my page the widgets for the new construction. I use the new home source for that too. And when you click in it, you can put in, here, I'll go back because nobody saw me do it. And it was like so surprising how I did it. You could put in the zip code of where you want to look or a city state and you click on it. And it's not always 100% accurate. Sometimes it may have older communities, so you have to look for that. But look at that. It'll tell you the floor plans, it'll tell you where they're located, the community, and then it'll give you the information. So let's say I wanted to look at Meridian Park, Mattamy Homes. I can look at this and it'll give me, this is one particular home. This is obviously a inventory, but then I could see all the floor plans. I could see everything about this community. These are the ones that they have that are already inventory homes. Then I could see the map of the builder, gives me the builder information. See, isn't that cool?
I saw one that I just bought.
So clearly not up to date yet. Yep, there you go. But this is a great, it's like the MLS for new home construction. And you actually have under my clients, which, you know, I have none, but if I actually had customers, I could see what they're looking at. So if I had customers here off my website that were actually looking at new homes, I could even send them homes from here. I could see what they're looking at from here. So on my website, if you guys remember my website, let me see. I did that one training. It's on my YouTube about adding new home construction. Finds a home. New, these homes. New construction. These widgets link to that new home. right here. This links right to the same place. So if people were on here, this is where it would go. It would go right to my clients. Sadly, I have none.
Now you have three, yours shows up three, for what reason? Is it because it's a carousel?
Agent, and myself. Yeah. Yeah, they were agents.
Is there a way to search on that for certain things? Like I'm thinking an RV garage, like builders that do RV garage.
It's not really that searchable. Yeah, not really. You can search, just not really quite like that. They have like some features, but it's really more basic than that. Areas of town, types of like townhomes, that kind of thing. Price point, community, price, bath, square footage, home status, more. Let's see what kind of things. There you go. Yeah.
When you send the link to your client.
Uh-huh.
Does it automatically add to your client list?
Yes, it
You have to
does.
have the client. Okay.
No, it does. When you send the link. Yeah.
When you send the link.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
And how do you
So-
share the link?
It would do it right from your page. So when you're on your page and you did a search, you could just send it right from there, and then they have their own search.
Like,
of it.
oh, the search bar?
Yep, exactly. So this is, so you're gonna use this for the funnel. You can use right from your, either from your MLS. I would actually do it from my website. If I was doing searching, I would do it from my website. From new homes, that's where I'd be looking, but you're gonna use this obviously together with them while you're doing this. You're filling this up, right? So,
Which sounds to be a little confusing nowadays. You know, they text me things from Zillow. I send them, let's say I send them these two,
Uh-huh.
and then all of a sudden I they get listing alert from my house. And I mean, it's so much information, like, oh, I don't know where I got that from, but remember that house, and that's how we start talking.
but remember, you're with them. When you're doing the funnel, you're either on the phone with them or you're in person with them. You're with them doing the funnel together. The idea is you're trying to get to their, now it says top 3. Honestly, when I'm doing a showing, I go 5. Because I don't want to spend more than 1 day. So I like to wear them out and be done. And 5 to me is my max. I mean, that's me, right? You might be a 3er, you might be a 4. I'm 5. I don't cross 5. I don't do less than 5, but you may not 5, right? But that's usually what I do. This is top 3. I would probably say 5. That's what I like to go for. That's a full day to me, morning to the afternoon. I start now. This is another thing. When I do my tour, some people like to show the best home first. No, backwards. You start with the home, the home that you think they want is last. And then everything goes in the order to get to that home last, right? Because you have to do directionally. And the reason is because you want to be writing the offer there. Now, if it's people are owner occupied, then you go to a coffee shop or whatever and you write the offer. I want to write the offer with them personally. And I like to do it right on my iPad or whatever and make them sign right when I'm with them. Some people go back to their home. I'd rather do it right there because I'm usually pretty quick at writing that offer up. And I like to do it when I'm with them and chatting and writing the offer, and I make them sign right there. That's usually how I like to do the offer because I'm pretty quick at writing an offer. Because I don't like to let anybody go. I'm a little bit like that, a little bit freaky like that. It's my way. What?
Intense.
I am intense. But I get the job done, my friend. So you could, right? But that's just how I like to do things. Okay, so let's say you're doing a search. You're saying active. Let's say the price point is $850 to $900. And you're looking in Windermere, 34786. And there's 2 homes. That's so sad. Okay, let's go to 750 to 900, and there's 9 homes. So listen, they don't have much to pick anyway. So, okay, let's say we really went through our whole funnel and we thought, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. These are the homes. This is where we're going. We went through them. We went through our funnel. We got the homes. These are them, right? We want to create our buyer tour. What do I do for Cloud CMA? Does anybody know? So sad.
You go on map just to see what they're located, the ones you selected.
No, I love you though. No. You could, but no. I'm gonna click this little button down here, guys, Cloud CMA.
That was the trickiest of trick questions.
Yeah, it was right there. It was right there in your
My
face. Yeah.
grandmother would say it was a snake, it would have bit you.
Yep, it was tricky. This is the easiest tool for your buyer tour, guys. Do it every time. It is so simple and easy. By the way, though, set it up with your picture, your logo, you know, you got to make sure it looks good. But the best thing about Cloud CMA is you just have them selected and it goes right there. I mean, you know, in 20 minutes because it's slow. Okay, here we go. Now, I don't use Cloud CMA for my CMA. It's this buyer tour button right here. See it? I have used Cloud CMA buyer tour for years. I have, you'll see if you went back and back and back, I have all sorts of Brazilians in here, Spanish people from my business. Yes, lots of them. So I say, no, I don't want it for free. Leave me alone. Okay, I say create buyer tour. When I hit create buyer tour, you see that they already put the people in there. They already have the properties in there. Made my life so easy. I could put the customer on here. I'm gonna say Top Gun Training 1, day 1. Okay, private notes, they don't see that. You can put whatever you want. And then you say fetch listings. Now, what's nice about this is let's say you did it online with them because they're not here. And let's say something changes between now and the day you're going to go on this tour. You can modify this anytime. Super easy. Now, you can customize your thing. So you see how you see it right here. You can do your order. This is where you could switch it around. Maybe I know that this one is going to be the best one right here. So I can move them around. I can just say, this is my best one. They're going to buy that one. I move it last. No, this is the one. I want to buy this one. Wherever you want to be, you can move that one last. You see, you can move them around.
When there are two that are very good, like you can't really tell which one would be good. What would you do for
They're the
both
last
ones?
two.
Last
Yeah.
two?
Yeah. Because I'm going to go to both of them. Yeah. So you gotta do that. And then you're going to say customize report. Now, of course, we haven't looked at any of these listings. I have no idea what they are, but it doesn't really matter. It's just for, obviously, you've already done that job. Now, this is what's cool. You can completely customize this report. Now, I'm going to tell you less is more. This title page, you can look and see what it is. Let's take a quick little peek. It just says their name, who it's prepared for, okay? Then it can show you this contact me page. This is a cute little page. Now, I might just start with this one on the front and maybe get rid of the Top Gun training page, right? So let's say I don't want that one in the front. So I could just say, get rid of that page. So you can add and remove at any time. I want the map of all my listings because that's going to tell them where we're going.
Would you also slide your bio in this?
You could.
I mean, they're already in constantly. It might be overkill. They've already decided to use.
So remember, I probably have my bio in the buyer book. I'm still going to give them that buyer book. I'm still going to give them, you know, the buyer thing there. It's going to have a bio in there. It's going to have the top 10 reasons why. It's going to have our stuff.
Okay. Gotcha.
This is really to have for them that they're going to follow.
All right.
So this is going to
Yeah,
be a
I'm fine with that.
separate standalone piece. And I'm going to tell you how I'm going to use it in a minute. Okay, listing details. Let's see what they're going to have. Now, this is important here. I like a one pager. There's a reason for that. I don't want all the extra photos. I don't want all the school details. I don't want all the restaurants. You could add as much as you want. I want this for a very specific purpose. Now, first of all, we're going to just go ahead and print this for a second. I'm going to say publish report. You have lots of things on there. Tips for buying a home the first time, know your numbers, all these things. If you wanted to print some of these things out because you like them, they're great, fine. Put them in the book, but keep this separate because of how I'm going to show you how to use this, okay? It does a separate thing. All right, publish report.
It doesn't seem the showing time, right?
This does not. You'll still do showing time. You have to, because you have to request, right?
Should do showing time first to figure out how, if you can fit that last house, right?
Yeah.
And then after you know the schedule.
Yeah, and then you can move it around. Okay, and now what's really nice is let's take a view of the PDF. So there's the map of listings. And then here is the one pager for the listings. Oh, I'd throw that thing out. And that's it,
Carrie, you like
Mhm.
that structure better than,
MLS.
Yeah.
It's prettier than MLS. It's easier to see. Now, this I give to them. MLS I keep for myself. I
That makes
mean,
sense because it has, because MLS, they're like, what is ABOM? All that kind of stuff. and like, you know.
yeah, it pretty much has all the important details right in the front. I mean, there's different types of formats that you can set this up as. So when you're in here, you can customize, you can go into your buyer tour, you can customize how you want the buyer tours to look. You can customize your layouts. You can customize everything that you want. You can also view, for example, look at this, use slideshow. Mhm. So you could do this online with them. So this is really good. So if you wanted to do this with them on the online before they came, you can go through this. This is a really nice thing. Let me close this for a
Would
second.
it be a good idea to carry with you on an iPad, you think?
No, not for the purposes of what you're using this as. I'm going to show you what you're going to use this as. But like if you're talking to them before they come and you wanted to show them this house and you wanted to, they could rate the property, which I love, and put comments in. Then when you get this back, you have this with their comments. I love that printed out. And then it shows all the pictures. They can click and see more. Then it shows the area schools. It's going to show the restaurants. So they can see all the information on each of the properties when they're clicking on it this way as a slideshow, see as much or as little as they want to see. This is what's nice about when they have it as a slideshow. And then when they send it to you when they're done, they just put their email in. Let's go to the end. And then you get it with all their comments. But again, when I get it, what am I going to print? That one pager. Because this is the reason, guys. This is how I'm going to use this with that one pager. The whole point of this is because I am going to go in the house, and I have done this for years. I have done this with everyone from first-time home buyers to investors. Men, all Spanish, I don't care. They all have to play my game or they don't get to come with me. Sorry, that's how I roll. And I'm pretty forceful, so that's how it is. And I say, listen, we're going to play a little game. After we look through the property, we're going to give me a number from 1 to 10. 1 is the least, 10 is the most on what you think of the property. And you two can't play together. Sorry, your number's your number, your number's number, and you can't talk to each other. No cheating. I mean, seriously, you have to do that. And I have my MLS sheet and I have my pen, and I say, okay, no talking. Go, what's your number? And I make it fun, right? And I don't care if they don't want to play because we're doing it my way. And I want her number and his number or their number, whoever it is, I don't care. But they have to give me their own number. And then I want to know, okay, and why? Why do you give it such a high number? And I'm writing down her exact words. What is it about the kitchen? What is it about? I need her words because I'm going to use it back at her when I'm going to close her later. Okay. And the exact words, not that it's a big, if she didn't say big, if she said gigantic, I write gigantic. If she said cozy, I write cozy. Whatever word she's using, I'm writing down. Now, if he's being a pain in the neck today, sorry, Barry, I had to make you a pain in the neck today. And everything's a 5. Really? And I know she loves the house. I'd be like, Barry, so great. So why you give this one a 5? That's fabulous. What are you, I'm gonna like build it up anyway. Because I know he's just being a pain in the neck and this is the home for them because I already know, because I already got his top 5s. Right? So sometimes I'm gonna play it up or sometimes I'm gonna play it down. I know, just a 5. What did it need to have to be better? Like I'm going to use the words that I need to use for when I'm going to do my Ben Franklin close on this thing. So I'm going to ask the questions that I need to use later when I need to Ben Franklin. And I'm writing it on my MLS sheet. And then when we're done, they give me the top 10, whatever, I give the score. Then we go in the next house. We do it again. This number is either above or below the number we just had. Right? If it's below, I take their sheet from them. It's gone. It's no longer in contention. Okay? It's out of their book. That's why I only give them a 1 pager because I took it away. It's the ultimate takeaway. So by the time we're in the last house, They only have 2 sheets in front of them. They can't go back and say, oh, I wish I could have the bedroom from the first house and the yard from the second house. You can't do that because those pages are gone. Took them away. See, that's the beauty. And then when I need to Ben Franklin them, I have all the words that they used about the houses that they liked or didn't like. So I use it for or against. You see what I'm saying? But I get them to say the words, which I already know the words because I wrote them down. Everybody with me? But that's why I only want a 1-pager because I need to take it away from them. I want them to see it. And I need to be able to take it away from them. Now I had another agent, she used to be so mean, she used to rip it in front of them. I just feel like that's a little cold-hearted. I just take it. I never would rip it. I just feel that's a little mean. What's dead to you? No. You can't have it. No. I have never gotten, I want the bedroom from this house or the backyard from that. Never. How many of you have gotten that one? Thank you for your honesty, Luciana. I never got that because I take it away. You got to get it out of the, if it's out, they don't have it in front of them. They can't bring it back up. Right? It's gone. And if they try to bring it back, you go, oh, remember that one didn't even compare to the last one. So it's already gone. We can't talk about it.
What's your criteria for removing it from that?
Because it didn't even compare to the last one we just saw.
Oh,
It's already gone. Why would we bring it back up? It's already gone.
but if they both give a 10 to the first house, we'd still take it.
Well, it can't give a 10 to every house. So that's your job to then make sure the next house is an 11. If they're like, okay, so then you have to say, you guys are so funny. I wish that you were the one voting for me and when I'm running for whatever, like, you know what I mean? You're gonna say, okay, so obviously we're changing our scale. It's not 1 to 10, it's 1 to 15 now. Like you have to like, if they're those people, you're gonna have to adjust. Yeah, you have to remain, the number one thing with the buyer, you have to stay in control.
So you're saying that.
You have to stay in control.
If you present the houses,
Mhm.
whichever one, like, let's say you're on house number 3
Uh-huh.
and they score the first 2 houses like a 7 and 8. And then they go to the 3rd house and they're like, this is a 5. That's when you take it and you say, okay, this one's eliminated.
Well, if you are at 7 and 8,
Yeah.
right? By the time you're at 8, you already took the 7 away. So you only have,
I see.
Yeah.
I
See? So now you're at 5 where you took that one
Gotcha,
away,
gotcha.
right?
Yeah.
You just keep taking the papers away. Yeah, because you that's the whole point. It's a takeaway game. By the end of the day, when you are in the last house, they only have 2 papers left. It's like a shell game. What's gonna be left? Mhm.
Okay, see, that I can do.
You have to. It is a mind game as much as it is anything else. The problem with the buyer is they confuse themselves,
Yes.
right? The buyers confuse themselves, and we can't allow that to happen. We already know what happens with the buyers. They get nervous. And when they get nervous, they look for excuses. And when they look for excuses, they create stalls. A stall is a fake condition. They make themselves create an objection. So what do? Oh, I really wanted the kitchen from the first house, which they know they can't have because they don't want anything else from that first house. Well, we already took that first house out of the way because nothing else works for them. So we're not even having that conversation. If it was your kid, you would have slammed them out of that conversation long before, like, right? Like if they wanted to bring up something and you're like, don't even talk to me about that. That's stupid. We're not having that conversation, right? So you can do the same thing.
Child school shop.
Right,
Oh,
exactly. Mhm. Yeah, you have to remember that a buyer gets just as nervous as a seller gets when they talk about your commission and when they talk about the price of their home, right? The buyer, when they get to the point of you're just about to ask them to write a contract, what happens? Oh my gosh, totally nervous.
this is real.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
So the point is, when you get to the point, okay, here's the last thing. This is an overall buyer process, right? We're going to break this down through the next day, right? How do you ask them to write the contract now? Here's the question. How many of you don't? You wait for them to ask you and you keep waiting
Hmm.
and you're waiting. And then they keep sending you Zillow houses.
Mhm.
And then 5 months later, you're like, are they ever going to buy a house? Because you're waiting for them to tell you they're ready. They're not going to tell you they're ready. People become perpetual buyers because they're nervous. They need somebody to help them make that decision because they're not good decision makers, right?
Right.
I mean, dear God, my poor son. So cute. So cute. Such a bad decision maker. He had this weekend, he's the one who went to Northwestern. He auditioned for mock trial. He was a great mock trial case, but he didn't know if he could get in. He's like, Mom, what if I don't get in? So he can sing. Of course, all my kids can sing, right? So he pops by. He's like, Mom, they're having a cappella. Should I audition? Sure. So he doesn't care. He goes in. First two were warm-ups. The last three, he's like, they're pretty good. He got called back for all three. So I'm like, amazing. So then he gets into mock trial. And now he's like, oh my God, what do I do about these? So now he's the only kid I know who can't make a decision about which one he's going to do just for fun. I'm like, holy crap. Like, you know, this is your buyer, right? This is your buyer. And this is a kid who this is doing this for fun. Your buyer is trying to decide where to move. And you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine my son Cole is your buyer. Okay. I'm sorry, you're in trouble. So you need to hold their hand and say, honey, it's okay. You want to buy this house. I'm here to help you. And you want to buy it today because interest rates are going crazy, but this is what you need to do. And you're going to start building equity regardless. And if you keep renting, the rental rates are going to only go up. So you've got to do it now versus later. We've already decided that. So there's no sense in delaying the inevitable, right? You need to be the voice of reason. So when you get that buyer, you think of my son Cole, remind yourself that you're helping them, but you need to be the voice of reason, okay? Which is why you doing this helps them. And when then they're like down to 2, then you get to 1, you go, what is the easiest thing to do? Well, looks like you made your decision. So the question is, are we going in full price or are you going in a little over?
Yeah, when the last time you had to have an opportunity to buy something with $141,000 off?
Right, guys? It's an alternate choice close. You don't ask them, are you buying? Didn't they tell you they want to buy? Right? This, by doing this, what I just showed you, gives you the alternate choice close. The question is, and you ask them something else. How much do you want to put down? 5,000, 10,000. You ask them another question. The question is, do you want to close in 30 days or 35 days? Pick your choice. It doesn't matter. You just don't ask them, do you want to buy? Never ask a yes or no question. I think I say that all the time, right? Never ask a yes or no question. Everybody have that? Yeah, exactly like you do with your kids. Your buyers are your children. Okay. Guys, if you notice that I do that with you, my babies.
Carrie, I have a question. I admittedly have never used this custom report, which I find to be awesome. I've always seen the button. I've never used it, but
It's a fun button.
when all of the MLS numbers on the original screen, do you send that in a link that they can click and see, or how are you getting that to them?
Well, if you're with them, it's easier to just, so what would happen is typically I would print this out, and the day that I go with them, this is part of my package that I'm going to use before I sign the exclusive broker buyer agreement. But, but if I'm going over it with them, then what I'm going to use is this slideshow. I'm going to click on slideshow, and it's going to be this hyperlink up here that you're going to get. That's what I'm going to send to them.
Okay, so you can send that. Okay.
Yeah. And then they could go through it, add their comments and all of that.
They don't have to register for anything,
Nope.
like,
Nope.
okay, so they can click on it, they see
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
Okay.
They could comment. They could say, hey, I'd rather have something a little more like this or that. Then the day that you're going to meet them, you're going to print out just the front forms. just the one pagers, right? Plus your buyer tour, plus your bio or whatever else you want to give them. But those pages have to be separate, ready to hand them separately on top.
Would you
below.
send this if they just started their search? Like oftentimes where I'm at,
No,
no.
no, this is.
If they say, I only want to be in this area,
This is the day before you're gonna meet them, or this is your buyer tour. This is when you're going to go out looking.
okay.
Okay,
Because I like this setup and this, like, it's very nicely laid out.
yeah. But so what we're gonna do next week is setting them up on the list track alerts. Those are the things that you're gonna do.
Okay,
Also, what you
Okay.
see, what I gave you is like, for example, your buyer consultation, that is attached.
yeah,
Where are you living now? These are some of the things that we just went through, right? But also your hot and warm list, those are Ninja. These are people that you can sort of put
Yep.
down. But what you're gonna do next week on our buyer continued is how to set people up on list track alerts, how to set other things up for them. That's more of like the background stuff. And then we're gonna do the buyer broker agreement, because guys, you need to use the buyer broker agreement. And the president of the National Association of Realtors said now more than ever, because of what's happening with the Department of Justice and these lawsuits, you need to be using the buyer broker agreement. Okay. So we're going to really go over how to comfortably present the buyer broker agreement. And when you present, you have your buyer packet, all the goodies in there. You have what I just did, those 3 or 4 or 5 properties separated out, because you're going to play from a scale of 1 to 10, you're going to play that game. And then you have on top of it your exclusive broker buyer agreement. And I have so much to give you today. Oh, but before we get started, let's make sure we're on the same page. And we're going to go through our broker buyer agreement. And if they do not sign that, you do not show property. Because if you do, you're wasting your time.
Don't waste your time if they refuse to
Any questions about anything we covered today? I hope you guys all got something from our first Top Gun. Look, I stayed in time. Are you guys impressed with myself? I'm so impressed with myself. I stayed in
to
time.
the dot.
I know. Wow. Andrea, what's the question?
Two questions, actually. Husband and wife that are not on the same page. So one's gonna be a 5, one's gonna be a 10, and vice versa.
Well, this is the beautiful thing. If they're not on the same page, you already did the 5 must-haves and 5 must-not-haves. So you know what already if they were on the same page. So you would have known that they were or they weren't. So this is when you say, hey, guys, I've done this before. I knew that my husband and wife must have fought before they met me. And I say, guys, I don't know what happened before you met with me today. Do we need to reschedule? Because obviously you guys are not, something's going wrong here today with you guys. And, this is for you. And you guys are not obviously on the same page. So we could reschedule.
And my second biggest problem is when they're not in a hurry, they don't want to do it. They know exactly like the neighborhood they want, and normally also being out of budget. But trying to bring them down to what is actually.
Well, here we go. If they're not in budget, this is another thing. Before you've even gotten here, which we're going to talk about next week, you have already spoke to their mortgage broker. You already know exactly where they are. And here is the comfortable question. You've had that question with them. So I've already talked to Maria, and I understand that you guys are comfortable being at about $2,500 a month. Is that correct? And they're like, yeah. Okay, great. So that equals a house of XYZ dollars. You start from payment.
They don't like those homes.
Well, if they don't like those homes, that's another thing. So then you say, okay, she says you can go up to $3,600 a month. Are you going to be able to eat out and enjoy some of the finer things in life if you're at 36 or whatever the payments are, right? And then they say, well, not really. Okay, so could we settle on 3,000 a month or whatever those payments are? You see what I'm saying? Okay, you come from payment. You have to come from payment. Unless you're a cash buyer, the reality is the payments. That is the reality of it, right?
And then the other buyers are not, they're just not in a hurry. So they're like, oh, this house just came on market. Why can we see this week? This house just came on market.
Okay, here's another tip. Anybody who says, I want to go see one home, this is what I have said for years. Andrea, there's nothing more than I would love to do to go take you and show you this one home today. But I have this family that is going to be homeless if I do not find them a home today. Can they live with you? Do you have space for them? No? Okay, then I better go find them a home. So I tell you what, why don't we set up at least 5 homes for you? I'll go show you a whole day. I'll spend my entire day with you on Saturday. How does that work? Now I seem like I'm giving you all my time. Meanwhile, I have no homeless family, but I always have a homeless family because hell no, I'm not spending one home at a time with you. No, but I never make it about me. It can never be about you guys. It's always about them or a homeless family, which by the way, I had many homeless families. They were always homeless. It was so sad. And I never had someone who said they could live with them. So they're always like, no, they can't live with me. Well, it was different, Luciana. When the market was insane, that was a totally different market, but we're not in that market anymore. Right? Now, if it isn't a very unique thing, in some instances we have to do that. But like, let's say husband can come and wife can't come, or wife can come and husband can't come. This is what I say, Luciana, I understand that you can come and your husband can't come. Can you put the offer in this afternoon without him? We're role playing. Can you?
No.
Okay, I can't show you the home if you can't, because what's going to happen is if you don't put that offer in and you lose the home, you're going to be so mad and upset with me. That's not going to work. Is there any way he can come or maybe be online with you?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So, and then he can be online with you and then we can put the offer in, because I don't want to see you fall in love with this home and then you're going to miss it. So he can be online and we can do that. And then we can put the offer in. Right? Do not waste your time and show it to one party that cannot buy without the other party. Always make it about them. You're going to be hate me when you lose the house and I can't do that to you. I'm not wasting my time. Are you freaking kidding me? See, that's what I'm really saying, but you never say that, right? Always about them. No, internally, that's my internal dialogue. Are you freaking kidding me? I'm not wasting my time on you. But externally, I can't do that to you. You know, that's terrible.
Well, I got a wife that it was preview the whole houses and then what the houses that she loved, then we go and revisit again with the husband.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. No, he have to be online with me. I don't, no. I see it. Yeah, no, I like listings. That's the problem. Okay, any other questions? We all good? Well, thank you all for joining me first week at Top Gun. Look forward to seeing you. We'll have our sales meeting this Thursday in Lake Nona. I'm thinking perhaps a little mimosas. Anybody up for some mimosas? Okay, a little mimosa in Lake Nona. Okay, and then we will have Top Gun day 2 next week. So thank you all for joining and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.